In September, Southwest Community Television and Bloomington Community Access Television regulars visited the Pavek Museum of Broadcasting in St. Louis Park. Our guide was Danny Henry, the Pavek's Director of Collections and Media Services.
And again, so now we've got 3 tuning dials.
The Pavek boasts the nation's most complete exhibit of communication technology, from early telegraphing to radio and television, and all the different recording formats to the cell phones of the digital age.
Our heritage. Here in Minnesota, we're very proud of our heritage and our history, and a remarkable.
That's playing off.
Our group had plenty of questions, and Danny delivered with flair.
This is the first record changer for you. 1927, $600. And there's an electric record cutter right there, and it would just capture the information and write it to the disc. And as we mentioned,
retired KQ morning show contrarian Mike Gelfand was with us.
You know, those original TVs were so small they had to have little people reading the evening news.
I like Mike's vinegary take on professional sports, stand-up comedy, and the media.
And yet, how much have things changed?
Mike and I have co-produced shows through Southwest Community TV, both in his backyard and here in the BCAT studio.
Remember the cable TV scramble back in the day?
Now, Stretch has famous issues with elder sports scribe Sid Hartman, who still writes for the Star Tribune and is heard on WCCO AM radio.
Wasn't the prototype of that recording of Sid Hartman's Briss?
That's correct.
That's what I've heard.
1920.
He appreciated the Pavek's tech exhibits, but Mike's interest was in another exhibit, one that recognizes many of his broadcasting brothers and sisters.
You know, as I stroll down here looking at the Wall of Fame, I think about all these people, so many of which I've known. The memories.
Years ago, on Friday nights, I used to go up to the 3rd floor of Harry's, which is my all-time favorite restaurant and bar. It was over on 11th.
I looked over some of those old bedtime news things. It was 16 years ago, and it was disheartening to see that they're not funny. God knows why they were then. I think...
You know, to people under 70 or so, some of these names may not mean much, but they mean a lot to me.
You betcha, Raymond, my boy. I was once voted honorary bartender of the month, you know.
Halsey Hall. Halsey Hall was probably the first of the dual threats. He could do radio, television. He wrote for newspapers, and he was the Twins' color guy back in the 70s. In fact, he was alive the first year that I actually covered the Twins for the Minneapolis Tribune. And every day I'd have breakfast, and Halsey would say, "How you doing, old boy?" Never learned my name. Just called me boy or kid or coach or something. But he loved me.
Well, let's find out what's going on with Joyce Lamont. Good morning, Joyce.
Good morning, Paul. Let's start with the dog show. And this is a big one. It's the Minneapolis Kennel Club show. All breeds.
And Joyce Lamont, everybody remembers, well, not everybody, but people my age and over remember Joyce Lamont. Joyce Lamont was the produce woman on WCCO radio. Yes, they had a produce woman. She read you a list of the produce on sale at supermarkets. For example, she would say, and this is probably my favorite Joyce Lamont moment, she would say, "And peaches are in plentiful supply." That was Joyce Lamont. And from her I learned how to imitate an elderly woman. Now if I could only date an elderly woman. Oh look, there's Nancy Nelson. I always wonder if the woman I knew as the waifish queen of Bolorama was the fiery liberal I know today and love so much.
Even within our own party, we haven't done the job of putting it together, putting it out there.
Stretch, is that you?
Oh,
Mike!
Oh, yes, it is, yes.
Oh my gosh, can I get your autograph?
Grudgingly, I guess. Normally I charge $1.25, but you seem like a nice guy.
Thank you.
How would you like me to sign it? The real king of radio?
That article was in '84, because I remember you put in the article that my voice appeared on the 1984 Olympics more than any athlete
Yes,
did.
that's right. That's right.
Wow, it was unbelievable.
You must have done pretty well up that spot.
I would have done better, except for
Tom Bernard was my sidekick. What do you think of that one, huh?
Network TV spots for McDonald's for the 1984
And
Olympics.
what's your name?
Dietrich.
Dietrich. That's D-I-E?
I-E.
Okay,
T-R-I-C-H.
H is in humble.
Yeah.
Humble, okay. I can do that. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Jim.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Stretch.
And then there's Sid, Sid Hartman. Let's just say that we had a somewhat antagonistic relationship, but deep down there was pure spite and enmity and perhaps loathing. And he'd say, Gelfand, you son of a bitch, you went too far this time. Excuse me.
Yes. Did you have a question about the Hall of Fame?
I'm just wondering what a broadcasting giant would have to do to become a part of this.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, you need to be nominated.
What?
You need to be nominated to the Hall of Fame.
Oh, sure. You put up
and
all
then
these
there's
huge
a committee that
roadblocks.
votes on
Sure.
that. And,
Sure. You see a lot of giants of the industry here.
Sure.
But then I noticed there's an omission or two.
What do you think?
What if we just sort of expedited the process?
Well,
What do you think?
let's talk
that
this
help?
over.
That might help, huh? I mean,
What
you
do you
look
have
like
in-
a
what do
pretty
you have- what do you have in
reasonable guy.
mind? Yeah, what do you have in mind?
Well, I mean, I brought this picture.
Okay.
It's pretty nice, huh?
That looks to be about the right size.
Yeah, well, right. And I was thinking maybe we could just, just say, let's just say we did a quick swap here. Maybe right here. What do you think? Huh? Huh?
I think we might have to take a vote on that, too.
We'll
get the committee together.
Who would have to vote? Sid, here's an interesting fact. Sid, a lot of people don't know this, used to babysit Warren Harding.
Wow. I did not know
That's right.
that.
Yep, it's true.
Maybe we can etch that on his plaque.
Almost everybody here has a special place in my heart. But the guy I'm thinking of is Mel Jass. People of a certain age remember Mel Jass. He was the host of some noontime movie show, I don't remember.
Best interview we've had in a long, long time. Burt Reynolds, Dan August.
But I did a story on Mel Jass for the Old Minneapolis Tribune. And he called me up the day after it ran, and he invited me to lunch. And I thought, why not? Obviously, he's appreciative of what I wrote. But actually, when we sat down to eat, he broke his dinner roll, took a sip from a non-carbonated beverage, and said, Mike, I thought we'd get together today because of the despicable story you wrote about me. And then he attempted to get me to give my life over to the particular deity whom he had given his life over to, and I politely refused, and I've had nothing but bad luck since.
Mike dodges darts at mgelfand@aol.com. Now, Wednesdays, Mike is on Bob Zanzavier's podcast, The BS Show. And Mike has a sports blog at The Zone Coverage. And he's also on Facebook, but then again, who isn't? And visit the Pavek Museum of Broadcasting. It's in St. Louis Park, and it's got a website, pavekmuseum.org, and you might give them a call at 952-926-8198.
Democratic Visions is handcrafted by volunteers from Eden Prairie, Hopkins, Edina, Minnetonka, and Bloomington. Watch us on select cable systems and on our YouTube channel. This is Carol Sundstrom.